you guys go on Instagram and search Overtime, they're a very big sports page, which Tom will be more than happy to share more information about.
Yeah, so Overtime, a sports media company, kind of the new age, like Gen Z. So imagine if ESPN got to start their company now, what would that look like? How could they connect with young sports fans? For us, we work a lot with high school athletes. What we've noticed is Gen Z, they're starting to kind of see themselves. How can I see that athlete who is in math class, who is going through the same problem, asking his girlfriend to prom? So we work a lot with those athletes all across the world and tell their stories and start their brands kind of really young. These athletes have millions of followers, a lot more than professional athletes, because they've grown up in this Gen Z era that's obsessed with social media. So we help them and work with them to tell their stories and make sure that everyone kind of has their own voice and put the athlete first. So it's been awesome. We've been together for 3 years now. We have 20 million followers across all social platforms and do about 1 billion video views a month. So it's been a wild ride, but
Just 1 billion views?
1 billion.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So it's really cool, and for me to get started, I had no idea what I was going to do. I had no background in social media or really in anything, and the way I got involved with the company was just my mom was yelling at me one day to go get to get an internship. So I Googled sports internship. I skipped to the 50th page of Google because I didn't think anyone on the first 49 pages would hire me. And I was probably right. And that day, a company had posted just looking for some interns. And that day I reached out, begged them to let me come work with them. And it's turned into the best move I ever made. So really lucky and happy to be here with all you guys.
And what's fascinating is back when Tom started, the company was like 5 people. 4.
Yeah, there was about 4 full-time people, and then I was an intern at the time, along with a couple other people. So now to have about 120 employees, it's pretty insane.
Yeah, I think that's amazing because literally, if you're working out of an office one day and you see 4 people, and then you guys went from like 10 to 100 in like a year, right?
Yeah, we had 10 for about a year, then we were at 25 for a little, and then we've gotten to about 100 in the last 8 months, I'd say. So it's been amazing. Luckily, we have a team that hires great people. They're super, we're all kind of off after the same thing. I think a lot of us are team first type of team, and it starts with the leadership. We've had the same leadership in place the whole time, and to be able to work with people who are as hungry as you and who really just want the best for the company, I think that's the most important thing when you're looking for a job, is to figure out how can I find people that have the same goal as you? So it's been great to just see us expand and keep hiring great people and young people, and it's been awesome.
So for social media, so raise your hand if you're out there trying to grow your social media account for your business or brand. Okay, basically everybody's raising their hands. So I want you to go back to when you started with, actually let's talk about TikTok because that's a new platform where people can actually take advantage of, right?
Yeah.
So let's go with TikTok. Right now, you guys have 4 million followers?
Yeah, we had 4 million last night.
Congrats, that's big. They're getting like hundreds of millions of views on TikTok. So I want you to go back to when you started the TikTok account to how you grew it from 0.
Yeah, with TikTok, for those of you who don't know, it's like the newest, hottest platform out there. Kids are loving it, spend hours a day on it. I spend hours a day on it. For me, it was awesome. As someone that runs social, it was the first platform that I got to start at the same time as everyone else. So for us as a new company, Instagram, all our competitors have been on there for 10 years. Facebook, all the same exact things. But for TikTok, it was the first platform that we could all start at the same time. So for me to have that opportunity, we took advantage of it and really spoke to our audience. So it was really just testing as much as possible early on. Luckily for us, we have always been geared towards that age group on our other social platforms. So it was a very easy marriage for us to kind of move over there. And it was very early, what's gonna click, what's gonna work, and it's very different. Each platform's different. What we post on Twitter, what we post on Instagram, what we post on TikTok is all very different, and we're obsessed with catering towards that platform. We're not just gonna smash the same exact clip on everything. We're gonna figure out what works. So for us, what's worked is really heartwarming and touching stories. I think that's why it's my favorite platform, is because it's all about positivity. And there's not a lot of hate on there, the comments aren't mean, everyone is just super positive. So for us, it's been all uplifting type stuff, and not only sports. We're 99% of what we post is sports, but then on TikTok we can kind of explore into other areas. So, it's when someone comes home to surprise their kids from being in the military. you know, when that kid who has special needs gets into that first high school basketball game and gets to make a basket, someone proposing to someone during halftime of a sporting event. So we kind of take advantage of that and our knowledge of the music. So it's really big with music and picking 15-second songs that are really going to connect with your audience. So knowing what kids want to listen to and stuff has allowed us to kind of do great things there. And it's honestly taken the least amount of work. We post once a day. On all of our other platforms, we're posting 15 to 20 times a day. We find the best clip, we find what's going to work, and post that on there. And we've gotten a lot of success from it.
Yeah, and what's amazing is one of his videos has over 300 million views according to TikTok, which is, that's a lot of views for one video. So
yeah,
basically,
and very well
organic is like very good, right?
Yeah, it's all organic. We've never worked with anyone else to kind of like market it or pass it along. We haven't even publicized it on our other social platforms. So to just see the power of TikTok and like those positive videos being able to be shared and commented and reposted by other people has been really awesome. And we've taken TikTok and now we've incorporated it into our other platforms where we will reshare a TikTok on our Instagram every night at 10:30 p.m. Every night you can expect to see a TikTok on our Instagram. And the point of that is, one, to train our audience to kind of be aware of what's going on in that platform, but also it's just a different type of video, different type of content. It kind of keeps our audience alive.
And what was the video that went viral?
The video that went viral, it's just a young girl in Amsterdam. She is singing in her car, and it's like a minute-long video. We took like 15 seconds from it, put it on TikTok, and she got to grow 100,000 followers on TikTok from that. And she's also grown 250,000 Instagram followers since she posted that. So the ability to kind of market other people and kind of blow other people up is probably the most rewarding for me. So just a girl sitting in her car and song
She's good.
dance.
She's good too.
Yeah, we're hoping she gets a record deal or something off of this, and hopefully we'll be able to shoot some more stuff with her just to kind of keep her viral presence alive.
So with that being said, where did you find the content originally? How did you know that it would work?
Yeah, that video itself, I was actually on my personal Instagram, and one of my friends had reshared on his story, just reposted it from a smaller account, probably an account with like 15,000 followers. And I just clicked into it. I'm pretty obsessed with just seeing what other people are sharing. And I knew it was a super popular song, so I was like, oh, like, this could work. I never thought in a million years it would blow up the way it did.
And are there certain accounts that you would recommend that people follow to get like the latest trendy videos?
Yeah, on TikTok, I would say for the most part, we're following creators, so individual talent. We're obviously like a brand, a company, but there aren't that many companies on there already who are doing a really great job. So most of the people on there, they've gotten their fame from TikTok, so they're rather unknown, I would say, like in the grand scheme of things. But all of the, like they're mostly like 18 and under, so it's really funny. I think there's a girl Charlie who does a great job on there. She's the first on every single trend. Her and her sister Dixie, I believe her name is. They're the first two on every single trend, and they probably have a combined 25 million followers on there. So I check their stuff out. But honestly, the cool thing about TikTok is you never know where it's going to come from. A lot of times you're just scrolling, kind of like the Explore page. They call it the For You page. And TikTok does a great job of feeding you things you want to see, so you can find it basically anything you want to see on there.
And in your experience, you noticed the biggest growth after, because when we talked earlier this week, you said the first few thousands you weren't paying as close attention, but then what made you suddenly change and say like, hey, like let's focus on TikTok now?
Yeah, I think early on we were able to see some success just when reposting some of our normal videos, like a viral dunk or a great, football catch. And when I realized that we were going to be able to pick up the growth in the followers, I just saw it as a big opportunity. We always want to be first to a platform, right? Like we want to be the first people. You can kind of get a head start on everyone else. In 6 months from now, likely every single brand will be on TikTok. So for us to get that head start and have a bigger following, realizing that we had an opportunity to do that, and just hearing from other people about how they were putting some time into it, that was really what led to that.
That's awesome. Now, for TikTok, let's say people wanted to push themselves out starting today. What would you recommend? Like, let's say for a personal brand, for someone who's trying to get on TikTok right now. Raise your hand if you haven't. Do you have a brand that you would love to push?
My own, yeah.
What's your brand?
So it's called Miss SK, and I do like photography tours, and it's a professional photography and the tours at the same time. So it's
Photography. Okay, so if you were trying to get into the photography business, how would you take advantage of TikTok with 0 followers?
Yeah, I think there's an awesome trend going on TikTok that has lent itself to that. And the main thing is you end with these beautiful pictures, right? Like that's the end result. There's a way, and there's tons of examples on TikTok, and what people are doing is they're kind of showing everything that goes into that picture, and it kind of leads through all that, and even the editing portion, and they're keeping it to 15 seconds, so it's like this speed edit basically of people filming themselves actually taking the beautiful picture, but what goes into that? You know, I've seen some stuff lately, like to make have some dark speckles on there, they might be like throwing some water drops on there. And the whole entire behind the scenes, I think that's what people are obsessed with seeing. What is like going into that end product? So being able to quickly show everything that goes into it, I think is a great example of how you can do that. And just anything in general with photography, like the whole point of it is to show something beautiful or something that people haven't seen before. So how can we kind of show that in a different way where Gen Z or younger audience is going to be obsessed with like that whole process? And the last thing with TikTok is honestly just picking the best music you can kind of come up with.
How do you know if a song is like good or not?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just having a wealth of listening to as much music as possible. Like I'll listen to anything from some death rock all the way to rap to hip hop to pop, R&B, like country, and knowing what works with stuff. If it's a sadder type of video or you know, you might have a sadder song on there. If it's more uplifting, you gotta have like that bass drop right at the right moment. So it's really just expanding how much you can listen to, and a lot of it is already on TikTok. So if you just go through all the viral videos on there, you can kind of start to pick up kind of what are people using and how are they coming up with it.
And would you say, was that helpful by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Would you say like text is pretty trendy on TikTok right now? Do you know what text, like different color text?
Yeah, I think something I spent a lot of time doing when we first started Overtime was we wanted to figure out how we could tell stories in a minute or less on social. So how can we tell the story of Sharif O'Neal, who's Shaq's son? He had to have heart surgery, so he's a star basketball player, going to UCLA, then he has heart surgery, and now he's making his comeback. And how do we tell that story in a minute or less without having to actually hang out with him? It was something really difficult on Instagram. You had to edit it, there wasn't any tools for it. Then we got on TikTok, and they actually have the tools for it. So you can add text, you can make it pretty. It's actually similar to Snapchat, and it kind of works better if it's not pretty, right? Kids kind of like seeing stuff that's ugly and messy and makes you feel like they can do it. So it's super easy to add text, and now we tell that story in 15 seconds or less, so that's less. So that story exactly was one we did right when the text functionality came out on TikTok. I think it's at like 5 million views now because it's quick, it's easy to use, and you can kind of just like, you're keeping that attention really quick and rapid.
And then when it comes to TikTok, are there any hashtags that you would recommend people follow, should use when they make a post?
Yeah, I think that pretty early on, we realized that hashtags were really pretty big. If you go to their Explore page, they're kind of bumping the trending hashtags and what's really big there. For us, we try to keep it pretty tight. So most of our videos are sports videos, so it's hashtag sports, hashtag basketball. TikTok does a good job when you start to write a hashtag. It'll tell you how many times people are searching that and using that hashtag. So you're going to be able to use the popular hashtags pretty quickly as long as you start testing them and writing them out. And then we create our own hashtag. So it's hashtag shoutoutOT. And every single video that we post, we use that hashtag hoping to just gain more traction and see more people use it. So that's one other thing that if you have a brand or something, like creating a hashtag that people can feel like they have a community and maybe you feature some people that use that hashtag, that's something that I think is really powerful and something that we're really working towards doing in 2020.
That's awesome. And the next question I have is captions. How do you write caption that drives the most engagement? Because engagement is usually what drives your posts, right?
Yeah, so with voice, that's how I like would categorize captions. That's something that I started building for the last 4 years now. So when we first started our social, I had no background in social whatsoever. I barely had my own. And I think that helped because I was just writing the way I would say it. So I have this big thing where like any caption I write, I'm gonna say it out loud to someone. And if it sounds normal, it sounds like something I would actually say to someone, that humanizes it a little bit and makes people understand like, oh, like, this is actually coming from a person. So when it comes to writing captions, I think it's really important to understand what your voice is and staying really consistent with that. The way we do it at Overtime is every person who runs an account, they own that account. So Overtime's Instagram, Overtime's TikTok, I've managed personally the last 4 years, and basically the only person that's posted on it. And what that does is it allows me to make it feel like my own. So when that comes to voice, it's just my own voice. I don't have to try to be someone else. I don't have to try to copy what the rest of the company is doing. I can just kind of make it my own. So I think when you're talking about voice, it's just so important to know what am I trying to do here? Who am I trying to reach? For us, it's like younger audience, it's like 12 and 24 year olds. So I was kind of in that sweet spot. My background was coaching high school athletes, so I was kind of talking to them a lot. And I knew their voice and what they were kind of looking for. So it's really knowing that audience that you're hitting, and then figuring out how do they talk to each other and how can I kind of speak in the same way they can, and making it feel as authentic as possible.
That's awesome. I want to open this up again to others. Is there anyone else trying to build a brand on TikTok?
I have a question.
Yeah, shoot.
So if you're trying, your audience will be seeing it, but you're sort of audience in more, you can really talk to the business and account.
The question was, if your audience was between 25 through 34, would TikTok be a good audience for that age bracket?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's important to get yourself out in as many places as possible. TikTok being one of the bigger platforms, I think it's always going to make sense to get out there. As you get into that older audience, one, you can start getting their kids, and it actually, what we've seen a lot with our investors actually, the reason they love overtime is because it's something they can talk about with their children. That's kind of how they've gotten involved with it. But I think with an app this big and a platform like that, it's only natural that that age group is going to be hit heavily on that eventually. And I think you're already starting to see that switch. I was just hanging out with my friends the other day, and they were all asking me about it, all like 25 to 28-year-olds. So I think it's in the process of people in that age range getting educated, and to be the first people on there would be awesome. And I would also say, like, it's a good opportunity to test other age groups. So can you start to build even a bigger audience than just that 25 to 35-year-old audience? How can you kind of start to hit that younger group and maybe create fans early or create following early that will one day turn into your customer?
What's your question? What's
Yes.
your name?
Well, my name is Roberto Bruni. My question is this: who came up with the name Overtime? How long you guys been working together? If you're profitable, and if you look for funding or not?
Yeah, kind of go out one place at a time. So we started about 3.5 years ago. What was the first part?
Yes. Who came up with the name?
Oh yeah. So we actually started, when we first started out, the 5 of us, we actually had different names. It was called Tally. We were working on some different apps and stuff. And when it came to the name, actually, we had a list of about, 1,000 different names that we thought about using. Nothing was great. I probably spent hours in our office just saying, like, what's our Twitter? Like, what's the Facebook? Like, what is that random name? It's like, Overtime just seems so basic. And what we did is our CEO put his 10 favorite names on a pool table, and we got 10 pennies each, and we voted. How many pennies do you want on each one? I put my 10 pennies on Tally because I don't like change. Everyone else put on Overtime. There's other ones like Sideline and stuff, and it just stuck. And to be honest, we never thought what it would turn into, but like, it is the greatest thing that ever happened to us. The hand signal, an O, like for an athlete to be able to throw up an O after every time they make a basket, has been like game changing for us. Fans, when they're in the crowd throwing up the O, has been like insane. So we've created like this logo and this brand just by holding up an O that if we were Sideline or Tally, I don't think we would have had. So we got a little bit of luck, but at the end of the day, it was just, we wanted to come up with something sporty and something that people would resonate with, and it's been awesome. Every time a game goes into overtime, we get to call it out. So it's been awesome, and I don't think we thought about all the great things that could go with it. But now, like, seeing the O on people's chest has just become like a norm for that, for like the sports community. So it's kind of lucky, but it's great. And then as far as investors go, yes, we have outside investors. Key ones are Graycroft and Andreessen Horowitz. We work really closely with Kevin Durant, Baron Davis, Carmelo Anthony, Victor Oladipo, our 4 NBA players who have invested in the company. And we are currently not profitable, but starting to make some really big strides in that. And I think 2020 will be a really big year. Most of our stuff is through brand deals and through commerce. So, the commerce line is really starting to pick up, and that's something that we're really excited about.
I actually want you to share how you approach the high school market, because when we talked, I thought that was the most fascinating part about your brand, because if you look at high school in general, like high school sports, before you guys, nobody was doing these big highlights. It was like maybe slam. But when I saw Overtime, your brand, like, you guys became the voice for the high school demographic. And now it's just amazing to see, like, literally every high school student, athlete in the nation knows about you guys. So kind of walking through the strategy on how you got a hold of the high school students and, how you came up with the concept.
Yeah, I think the ability to work with high school athletes, that was what most excited me about the company, was because, like I said before, I was coaching high school football and basketball, and I've always been obsessed with it, but like there wasn't this huge audience for it, we thought maybe at one point. But we kept, our CEO, Dan Porter, and our other co-founder, Zach Meaner, they were working at WME, which is now just Endeavor, and they were working with a lot of talent. And when working with that talent, they kept seeing brands be like, we don't know how to reach Gen Z, we don't know how to reach this younger audience, working with pro leagues, and they were like, we're still trying to get people to watch live games, what do we do? And it became really apparent to us that the best way to get that younger audience engaged and to help these brands out was to show them themselves. So there's a ton of high school athletes who think, it kind of boils up to the NBA player. So Steph Curry, for instance, is an NBA player, and Trae Young, who are smaller stature, who shoot threes, they can't dunk, and people feel like they can relate to them, right? They really feel like, hey, I could be Steph Curry one day. He doesn't have this incredible athleticism, he's not this big dunker, and that's even on a bigger scale in high school because there's more and more players where you can go, oh, I can maybe beat him one day. So I think working with high school athletes, and also they have huge social following. So before we kind of blew up, it was working with them, giving them content that they want to share on their socials, tagging us. So we kind of reverse engineered it to get our own followers through them reposting us. Where now it's kind of the other way around. They look for us to share them to gain their following. So that was probably the coolest part of it, was just working with high school athletes and being able to talk to a 14-year-old and they knew every single player, the way that an older audience knows every pro athlete. So that was probably the main reason we got in.
Right now, share like the current plans you have, because remember you were talking about like the events that you do with the high school demographic.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is we built this following, but more importantly than that, it's community. So people really do feel attached to Overtime. They feel like they're talking to their friend. They feel like, it's not like, oh, it's just another brand putting stuff out. There really is like that community. Our comments are super engaging. What we do is we respond to almost every single comment on our Instagram. The reason for that is so that people can feel that one-to-one connection. And the way to take that to that next level is to start to have some more in real life events. So we had our first one last May. It was called The Takeover. It was over in Brooklyn, where we had the 12 best boys and 12 best girls high school basketball players in one place. We opened it up to our community and let fans come and it was a huge success because it wasn't your typical game where you come, you pay for a seat, you sit down, you can't talk. It was like you were there, you were on the court, you were walking up and down the court, the music was blasting, people were screaming, players are going into the crowd during the game to talk to fans. It's just a different experience for athletics, and the plan is just to create more and more things like that, where we can have that type of stuff, a pop-up shop to have our apparel be sold in real life, and we have our own in-house talent that have built a really big following, and getting them out more in public to be able to meet more people. That is a really big plan for us going forward.
And share how you're able to get, be the first to shoot all these highlights.
Yeah, so for Overtime, obviously with high school sports, there isn't live games, right? So for us, it's all about how fast can we turn that footage around. So for instance, last night, Mikey Williams, he's a high school basketball player in San Diego, a really small area, like in San Diego, and we want to be the first people to turn his highlights around, right? He had 77 points last night. So what we did is we built this internal technology. It's an app that all you have to do is hold up your phone and it's recording, kind of like TiVo, and you just hit tap and it records just the last 12 seconds. So you can hold the whole game, film the whole game. Oh, that was a sick dunk. I'm gonna hit tap and it's gonna send the last 12 seconds back to me and my social team back in New York. And that tech has allowed us to be able to really cover sports in real time, basically, and turn stuff around. So Mikey has a dunk, we post the dunk in real time. It's incredible just how fast you can really be with the tech. And the biggest thing for us was making it iPhone instead of having to rely on these big pro cameras. We have 1,000 hired part-time shooters all across the world who are college students, just graduated college, looking for jobs in between. They just love basketball or sports and they want to get involved away from their day job. So these 1,000 different shooters all across the world, they get an opportunity to go into a gym, and they don't have to have this background of filming with a big pro camera or an editing background. Basically everything that we put out from the games itself, we record on an iPhone, 7 through X or 7 through 11, and edited on iMovie or like a little app that we created that I can cut some clips together. So same way I have no formal background, Mirrored is 90% of our filming team, and it's allowed us to build a big community of people who just love working for overtime.
I just love how fascinating that part is because, you know, probably when we grew up, like in school and stuff, you would think films like, oh, I have to use a nice camera, but now it's like you literally can just shoot with your iPhone, and all of a sudden now you can be a videographer, like for someone like overtime.
Yeah, I think what I noticed really quickly, and it was probably just because I was embarrassed that I didn't know how to do anything else, I just like kept preaching with an iPhone, and then I realized it was actually performing better. I noticed that our audience was used to seeing Snapchat videos with text on it, or used to seeing a shaky phone of their friend texting them or on their Instagram story. So to be able to put that in feed instead of like this beautiful, like, and it's hard, right? You work with a lot of like artists and stuff who are so used to making these beautiful things. So convincing our team to embrace maybe like that more raw feel has been a really key thing for us, and we've seen it perform better than kind of maybe something more premium.
Yeah. Now we'll take a question.
Here you go.
Gotta get anyone on the left side have questions? No. Okay. What's your name and what's your question?
My name is Penny. Just curious, because when you create content for TikTok and you explain that really well, just how, you know, it's short and positive and uplifting, how do you sort of differentiate it from when you create content for Instagram, Facebook? I'm just trying to get a sense of how your mind works in terms of creating content for those platforms.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think it's really important to look at each platform separately, right? I mentioned that earlier. On Instagram, our audience is really looking for people. So our star athletes, they're really big on Instagram. So like they want to know, how did that star player do in his game, even if it's not the most insane video. They're just curious, like, how are those people doing, what's going on there. And you look at TikTok, it's less about the people that we're covering because it's a wider audience, more global. We actually have 65% female audience on TikTok. And what they want to see more is less about the individual people, more about the moments. So we're looking for that beautiful moment, something a little bit more viral, more like eye-catching. On TikTok, it's a little bit more hit or miss, right? The post is either going to do super well or not do well. And for us, we're looking for only the heroes. Where on Instagram, you kind of have more ability to post more stuff and test more things out. Where on TikTok, that's going to be harder. So the bar is just a little higher on TikTok, I think, for us, of what we're going to post on there. That's why on Instagram, we post 15 times a day. On TikTok, it's 1 or 2. Where we might take only the best 1 or 2 things from our Instagram or from another platform and throw it on there. And on Facebook, really similar to TikTok, actually. We find that more uplifting stuff, it's a little bit higher bar for us. We're not huge on there, so it's a little bit tougher for us on there to really figure out kind of that different audience sector and what they want to see.
And then with content, since you guys are the first issue of the high school stuff, do other brands like ESPN and others reshare your clip with your logo on it?
Yeah, that was the big way we grew. So for the sports world, ESPN, Bleacher Report, and House of Highlights are like the 3 biggest in Barstool, and they weren't covering any of the same stuff as us. So early on, when we were probably under 1 million followers, we got most of our growth through filming things that no one else was, and them resharing us. But now they've actually all jumped into that market. So ESPN, they broadcast LeBron James Jr., who's LeBron's son, all of his high school games. Bleacher Report has started a new account, VR Hoops, that focuses solely on high school. So a lot of people are trying to get into it, which is great for the overall like growth of it. But I think what they're probably missing, and something that we got to do, is like that grassroots feel of having people on the ground who work for overtime, who can be in the gym and really do it, instead of kind of coming in late to it. That's been kind of something kind of harder for them to kind of adjust to. So that's kind of the difference.
Questions?
I have one here.
Okay.
Yeah, my question was this: how did you build the network, the global network of 1,000 people? I thought it was fascinating.
Yeah, there's a lot of techniques that go into it. I'll share one of them. I don't want to give them all away. I'll literally spend hours a day on DMs. We have a team now that does it too. Instagram makes it really easy to find people in certain locations. So if someone posts an Instagram from today, you guys might tag the building that it's in. And we can go through those different areas and find people who posted something in that same area and maybe have similar interests. So we do a lot of Instagram searching and just figuring out kind of all the different people. And at this point, we've gotten big enough where it's mostly word of mouth. So I have 2 guys in Atlanta who are just overtime lifers, college students, part-time employees. And we'll reach out to them, hey, I need 3 people in Chicago. And they'll hit up this kid in Arizona who knows a kid in Chicago. It's all become word of mouth.
Network.
So the network is just growing and growing and growing.
Fantastic.
You can ask your question, you can.
Yeah, did you get any response from Instagram? Because your logo looks a lot like Instagram's. I'm just wondering, just interested.
So our logo isn't usually colored.
I love it, man, I love
Thank
it.
you. No, it's just an O. We kind of put different designs on it. Sometimes there's something dripping off of it. Sometimes it's got some slime. Sometimes it's just white. So no, we've never.
And then my second thing is, have you pursued trademarking your name? Because you're dealing in that kind of business where licensing and trademarks are so important.
Yeah, I think we looked into it a bit. I'm not that involved in it, so I think at the end of the day, I think people know over time, and it cares enough where it's not necessarily.
Yeah.
Um,
Introduce yourself.
Oh yeah, hi, I'm Danielle. So because like ESPN, like you're going against like a bunch of these other people who are now like doing like filming high school games as well, how do you stay on top while they're also coming up? Like how do you like keep elevating yourself?
Yeah, I think we keep expanding, so we're a lot more than the highlights. We started to do premium long form content, so it shows with all these athletes. So for
Okay.
instance, we have a reality TV show with Mike Williams, he's the #1 freshman in the country. A
Okay.
reality TV show with the #1 senior in the country, where we film with these kids regularly, and it's huge on YouTube, where we can average around 1.5 million views per episode. So that long form content is definitely different, where they're kind of just living in the highlight space, so kind of staying above kind of just the content that they're regularly working on. But then also I think it's the community aspect. We can have our shooters be in the crowd, talking to kids, and really connecting with the players and the fans, where it's going to be harder for an ESPN who has a more legacy brand, even when they post the same clips, to have a caption that the kids can gravitate to, or to have people really understand kind of why are you here type of thing. So I think it's been cool for us to have our own like club basically, where it's us with that audience, and they really respect that.
Let's take one last question. The left side of the room. Still no questions on the left side? Oh, okay. Introduce yourself.
Corey, it seems like you guys have a pretty interesting data set. How do you catalog different videos, and how do you use your data in unique ways?
Yeah, 4 years ago I used to handwrite every single piece of analytics, so it's good that we have a team now that can kind of work on it. I think for us, there's so much analytics that go into it. We're looking a lot at video views, likes, comments, shares, everything that a lot of social brands are working on. But at the end of the day, I think our team is still trusting its eye more than anything. Like for me, like we've lived in it for 4 years. A lot of the team that's working on it. We are the audience in a lot of ways. Most of our team is really young and like people that love sports. So at the end of the day, we're looking at all these analytics and figuring out where to go and what to do. But when it comes to voice and what clips to select and where we're going to share, we still really trust just the intuition of knowing like, I really like this, so I'm going to watch this. A lot of times in my video, it might be a minute long, and I just cut it when I get bored. Because if I get bored, everyone else is going to get bored. I'm the biggest fan ever, like when I'm posting. So if I'm getting bored, it means everyone else is getting bored. So I think a lot of it is still trusting yourself and going past the data and using that to kind of educate yourself and then taking it a step further.
And what's the best way for people to get a hold of you? Like first of all, what's your personal Instagram handle?
It's at Overtime Tom on Instagram.
Okay.
Basically, our whole team, our username start with Overtime and then ends with the name. And then you can always reach out on Overtime as well. We answer basically everyone. And Overtime Life is like for the kind of deeper fan who wants to reach out and really have a conversation.
And now, first I want to thank you for coming today and also meeting with me this week. Like your brand inspires me to work even harder because it's so cool to see that you guys created this Instagram account, but it's more than just like a social media account. Like you guys are in the high school space, apparel, and it's like taking off. And it's just cool to see like from the outside, like as a fan of like your page, And then second, for coming to speak here today, because funny story, I just met Tom on Wednesday. I honestly just emailed this team because I love their page so much, and I just guessed the email of people from this company, and it's a good guess. Funny enough, it worked, and then I was introduced to Tom, like we met up this Wednesday, and now like we're here talking, and it's just cool to see, and thank you so much, and I hope all you guys enjoyed the talk.